Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Thursday, February the 17th. We got a shorter slate today, a 5-gamer, and this is our last slate before the All-Star break. There are no games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. So basically, after today, there's no games until next Thursday. So I really won't have any content posted over the next week or so. We'll have the All-Star game on Sunday, but I usually don't make content for the All-Star game slate. It's just a lot of guessing there. So we'll play this last slate, this little 5-gamer. We'll talk through this slate as we always do. Go through each team, go through each game, kind of talk through what stands out to me, taking a first look at this slate on Wednesday night. And then as we do go through each game, we will bid out an early core. We'll hit on 5 players that specifically stand out to me on both DraftKings and on Yahoo at first look. But before we do get started with the breakdown, guys, please do hit the like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel and you have not yet, make sure to click that subscribe button as well. And also, if you're new and you have not yet, check out the sponsor of this video, Prize Picks. So Prize Picks is a player prop based DFS site where you're picking the over or the under on players' projections. You can take a look at their NBA board for Thursday's slate, make some picks for yourself. I did discuss this in my stream on Wednesday. I think after the All-Star break is over, when we come back next Thursday, I think I'm going to start making some Prize Picks specific content. So, getting up some videos on the channel that are just Prize Picks based, where I talk about some of my favorite plays on Prize Picks each day. I know a lot of you guys have, signed up for Prize Picks. A lot of you guys play on Prize Picks already. So I do want to make some content specifically for Prize Picks. That will probably start, next week after we get back from the All-Star break. It'll be short form videos, usually probably like 8 to 10 minutes, I would say. I'm not going to make them too long. I'll probably upload them later in the day. Normally these videos that you're watching, I record the night before. But for Prize Picks, you can't really make content the night before because they don't really have their entire board posted. So I'll probably make those videos like, later in the day, early afternoon, get those uploaded to the channel. I would love some feedback there. If you guys, would like to see some Prize Picks specific content, for sure let me know down in the comment section. I think, after we get back from the All-Star break, I will be looking into making some Prize Picks videos along with the, videos that I do already upload on the channel and along with, still streaming every day as well. But yeah, if you're new and you have not yet, go check out Prize Picks, sign up, use code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. I'm going to start giving out some of my favorite plays on Prize Picks each day. So if you're not signed up for there already, get signed up, use my code, and you can tell my plays if you would like, when that content starts next week, next Thursday. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at this 5-gamer. Hit on this one real quickly, and then we'll be out of here for a week. But let's start off with the Miami and Charlotte game. So on Miami side, looking at the Heat here, it is a really good matchup for Miami. Once again, Jimmy Butler is questionable on the slate. I think Jimmy Butler has been questionable like the last 2 games, and he's played both games. So for now, I think we can expect Jimmy Butler to play, but this will be something to monitor. If Jimmy Butler does not play, that makes it, that makes Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry both look like really appealing options here because, Tyler Hero remains out. Cody Martin, I think, is questionable as well, so he's questionable. That can maybe open up even more minutes. But really, if Jimmy sits, Bam and Lowry are going to be the 2 guys that we really want to go to from Miami. And then we can start to look to some of the value guys too, like Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus. These guys become playable values if Jimmy sits. If Jimmy plays, I think in a good matchup against Charlotte, Jimmy is for sure in play on the slate. If this game's close, we will see Jimmy play huge minutes, 36, 38 minutes. Charlotte, we know, plays really fast. They've been playing at the fastest pace in the league so far this season. So I definitely like Jimmy today if he plays. I think Bam in a good matchup against Charlotte is viable as well. He has crushed so far, facing the Hornets twice this year. He's averaged 53 DraftKings points per game against them. When they played like a week or about like 2 weeks ago, he put up 49 DK points in only 29 or 28 minutes against Charlotte. And then the earlier in the season when they played, let's see what Bam did. He put up 57 DraftKings points in 36 minutes. So Bam's really excelled in this matchup, and it kind of makes sense. Charlotte defensively against bigs, never really been good. So Bam and Jimmy, I think, are both solid here. Lowry is okay as well, but he's probably like my 3rd favorite play from the Heat. And I don't think I'm going to get to any of the value guys unless Jimmy sits. Then we can start to look to these cheap options. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus. But that's really it for the Miami side. On the Charlotte side, tough spot here for the Hornets. Miami's been one of the best defensive teams in the league. They play at a pretty slow pace. LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, these guys are going to play really, really big minutes if the game's close. So they are obviously in play. I don't think really anyone from Charlotte gets a ton of ownership today. So I think you'll get all these Charlotte guys at fairly low ownership. I don't hate going to them in tournaments just because we know the opportunity is going to be there. It's just the matchup is really tough. The price tags on these guys don't make them stand out as great plays today, but still viable just with the the minutes they're going to get. We did see Kelly Oubre actually go back to the bench last game. He saw his minutes take a big hit, 25 minutes. So I'm pretty much off Oubre if he's coming off the bench now. We actually did see PJ Washington start over Oubre, 4,900. Like PJ Washington might be my favorite play from this Hornets team if I had to go to anyone. He played 33 minutes in the starting lineup last game. Wasn't super productive, only had 23 DK points, but I think if he starts again for 4,900, like PJ Washington is a value guy that I will be considering. Mason Plumlee, going to split their center minutes, going to split these center minutes with Montrezl Harrell. They actually have been playing Harrell and Plumlee alongside each other a little bit. Last game they played 36 minutes of Plumlee and 34 minutes of Harrell. So if these guys are playing alongside each other, then maybe you see more minutes for both guys. Like, instead of it being like a 24-24 split, maybe you see like 28-30 for Plumlee and 26-28 for Harrell. At their price points, I don't think either one stand out as great plays today. But Plumlee, he's a good point per minute player. He has shown upside when he does get minutes. I think they're going to want him out there against Bam. It's a really tough matchup. He's coming off a big game, so like, is he going to get ownership? It's possible. But Plumlee is a good point per minute player. He can produce when given the opportunity. Almost had a freaking triple-double last game. I don't hate Plumlee on this slate, but in general, Charlotte, not a team I'm that excited about. Normally, Charlotte's a team I do kind of like to target because of how tight of a rotation they run. But given the price points on all these guys, given the tough matchup, not too much really stands out here. So we can move on to the next game, Washington and Brooklyn. Looking at Washington today, Kyle Kuzma at 9K, really expensive, but man, Kuzma has been really good lately. He had a really good game against the Pacers on Wednesday. Played 38 minutes, had 58 Draftkings points, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Like Kuzma, he's just been getting all the opportunity. The usage has been there. The rebounds have been there. He's shown triple-double upside. He's been stuffing the stat sheet. Now at 9K, like I don't think Kuzma is a standout play today, but with how many minutes he's playing in a good matchup against Brooklyn, I think the upside is still there. The rest of Washington, like, God, these guys are really tough to go to. Thomas Bryant played 24 mintes on Wednesday against the Pacers. Even without Rui, they really didn't give Thomas Bryant a ton of extra minutes. He just played 24 minutes. So at 4,700, like I don't think Thomas Bryant really stands out. Rod Neto is going to play probably 28 to 30 minutes. I think at 4,600, he's kind of priced where he should be. But he still has the potential to pay off this price point. I do question the ceiling on Rod Neto. Like I think Rod Neto is one of these guys that at 4,600, it's really unlikely that he puts up a score that you have to win the slate. Like Rod Neto is a guy that's really unlikely to put up 40. Most nights on a good night, you're going to get like 25, 30 from him, which is solid. But again, that's not really winning you anything. Denny Avdia coming off the bench probably plays 25 to 30 minutes at 4,500. He's an okay value play. I don't have much of a strong preference when it comes to these Wizards values. These guys are all viable because they are getting the minutes right now. They're never exciting to roster though. KCP had a big game on Wednesday, 40 Draftkings points in 34 minutes, but that's just a total outlier. Like KCP is never a guy that offers that kind of upside. Most nights when he plays 34 minutes, he's going to score like 25 Draftkings points. But 4,400, getting the minutes that he is, like he's playable. These guys are worth throwing some shots on. I think, if I'm playing one lineup today, am I going to play any of these Wizards value guys in my one lineup? Probably not. There's a chance we could have better value open up as the day goes on, depending on what happens in Houston. We'll talk about Houston later in the video. They're a team that, could definitely offer some value today. As of now, not too much stands out from the Wizards. I think Kuzma's in play. I think the value guys like Neto, Avdia, KCP are all viable. But I'm not that excited about really any of those guys. So we can move on to the other side of this game and talk about Brooklyn. So Brooklyn, still without KD, Ben Simmons, Kyrie. Andre Drummond, 6K, the first guy we'll start off with. So the last 2 games that he has played with Brooklyn, he has started both games, and he's basically seen like identical minutes. 24 minutes against Sacramento, 23 minutes on Wednesday against the Knicks. Been productive in those 2 games, 33 and 41 Draftkings points. Now, we know Drummond is a really good point per minute player. We've seen him be really productive when given opportunity. The one concern I have with Drummond is that, for one, at 6K, he's priced to a point where you kind of need him to get those 24, 25 minutes. But I think at this point it's going to be an even split in the center minutes between Drummond and Aldridge. Drummond played 23 on Wednesday, and I think Aldridge played around that same amount, if I do believe. Yeah, Aldridge played 22. They did play Blake Griffin a little bit alongside those guys. I think Blake Griffin got some run at the 4. He played 15 minutes. But if I had to guess, I think Drummond plays 24, 25 minutes. At 6K, like, I think he still has the upside. He's such a good point per minute player that in 25 minutes, Drummond can easily give you 40. It's a really good matchup against the Wizards. The Wizards have struggled against big men this year. I think Drummond at 6K is still viable. I do like him quite a bit on this slate. On Yahoo, it's a little bit different over there. If you look at the center position, Drummond is $30, so he's not like super cheap on Yahoo, but again, we've just seen Drummond be really productive when given the opportunity. Even in like 24, 25 minutes, he can put up 40 plus easily. So I still think Drummond, even at $30 on Yahoo, is viable. He'll probably be a lot lower owned there than he will on DraftKings. Definitely like Drummond. I think Cam Thomas off the bench is in play too. Cam Thomas going to play 28 to 30 minutes. His role off the bench should be pretty good. He should get a lot of opportunities to score. 18 shot attempts against Miami, 21 shot attempts Wednesday against the Knicks. Kind of a scoring dependent player, but when his shots falling, he does offer some upside. Don't hate Cam Thomas. Seth Curry's a guy that we talked about on Wednesday slate. I liked a lot. I think going back to Seth Curry makes plenty of sense. 5,500 on DK. Very similar to Andre Drummond. Seth Curry has been really productive in his 2 games with the Nets as well. 38 and 34 DraftKings points, played 32 and 36 minutes. Basically, I said it in Wednesday's video with Kyrie out right now, KD still not healthy, Ben Simmons not ready to play yet. Like, Seth Curry's going to get a lot of opportunity. He's going to play good minutes. He should take plenty of shots when he's on the floor. He can get assists as well. He's basically their point guard. He's going to have the ball in his hands a good amount. 5,500, like, I think Seth Curry, with his role right now, he's still a little bit too cheap in my opinion. His price actually went down from what it was on the last slate. So I like going back to Seth Curry, 5,500 on DK, $19 on Yahoo. He's another guy that I'll be looking to on this Brooklyn team. And then outside of those two, Patty Mills been really, really bad lately. He's playing big minutes. He just hasn't been shooting the ball that well. Like, I want to say at some point Patty Mills is going to have a good game. At some point he's going to start making shots. But until we see it happen, like, it's really tough to go to Patty Mills right now. Aldridge, Claxton, Bruce Brown. Like, I think Bruce Brown's the next guy we can talk about. So Bruce Brown has been starting lately. He was not as productive, or not nearly as productive, last slate or Wednesday against the Knicks. Played 27 minutes, had 18 DraftKings points after coming off a 52-point game against Sacramento when he played 38 minutes. My best guess is that Bruce Brown plays around 30 minutes. He's never really been a super productive point per minute player. The 52 DraftKings point game that he put up against Sacramento was just a total outlier. I thought he was a pretty good fade on Wednesday's slate. He didn't really have that great of a game. I think at 4,500, like, Bruce Brown's a playable value, but, be hesitant. Don't expect him to put up a massive game like he did against Sacramento. Most nights when Bruce Brown plays 30 minutes, he's going to score like 24 DraftKings points, which is solid. But again, at his price tag, that's not like, going to win you anything. And then the other guy I want to talk about lastly is James Johnson. So James Johnson, we actually saw start on Wednesday, and he played really well in the starting lineup. He played 32 minutes, had 30 DraftKings points. He's only 3,600. He is really cheap on this slate. I think if James Johnson does wind up starting again, he is someone that I will for sure be looking to as a value play because James Johnson can be relatively productive when he does get minutes. You would have to think if he starts again, he plays around 30 minutes once again, especially after how well he played Wednesday. So I definitely like James Johnson as a value if he starts again. And that's probably it from Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a team I do have interest in today. I think Seth Curry and Drummond both look pretty solid. I think for value, James Johnson, if he starts, I like quite a bit. Bruce Brown, I don't hate either. Probably it, though, from the Nets. So we can move on to the next game, Dallas and New Orleans. On Dallas today, you got Luka at the top, for 12-4. I think Luka's viable today. It's a shorter slate, only 5 games. So obviously Luka's going to stand out as a decent pay-up option. When you're looking at the studs on the slate, you basically have Luka, Giannis, and Embiid. Those are kind of your top-tier studs. And then after those 3 guys, your next most expensive player is LaMelo. So you kind of have like your 3 top-tier studs and Luka, Giannis, Embiid, and then there's a big drop-off. Obviously, Luka's in play on a shorter slate like this. Now, we'll talk about Giannis later. I think I do prefer Giannis over Luka. But man, Luka's been so freaking good lately. He finally had a bad game last game against Miami in a tough matchup. This is not the best spot. I think Luka will see a lot of Herb Jones. Herb Jones has been a really good defender this year. He's slowed down a lot of, even like a lot of stars have had trouble going up against Herb Jones. But Luka's just going to get so much usage, so much opportunity that he can still put up a big game any night, even in a tough matchup. I think on this slate, though, I do give an edge to Giannis. Between Luka or Embiid, I think I might lean Embiid as well. That's a closer one, though. But obviously, Luka's viable. He's probably my favorite play from the Mavs. I don't really like too much else on the Mavs outside of Luka. Jalen Brunson at 6,400 is still fine. But I think with Spencer Dinwiddie now in the fold, like, does that hurt Brunson? I think it hurts him a little bit. He still had a really good game last game, even with Dinwiddie on the team and playing. Dinwiddie didn't really have much of a role in his first game. He only played 23 minutes, was not that productive. Obviously, I really don't have any interest in Dinwiddie. Brunson is still okay, but I think at 6,400, he's kind of priced where he should be, for his role right now, with Dinwiddie, on the team. Reggie Bullock's questionable, so this will be something to monitor. I don't think it makes too much of an impact, but Reggie Bullock has been playing pretty big minutes lately. You would probably see Maxi Kleber start again. Maxi Kleber started last game with Bullock out. He did play big minutes. Normally Maxi Kleber is not a guy I really ever get excited to roster, but if he winds up starting again at 4K, another value play that's worth taking a shot on. That's really it, though, from Dallas. I don't see too much love on this team. I think Luka's for sure my favorite play here. Guys like Brunson, and then like Maxi Kleber, if he starts, are playable as well. But now looking to the other side of this game with New Orleans. So CJ McCollum, so far with the Pelicans, he has been really good. He's kind of been the number one scorer for this team. He's been like their go-to guy. You look at the shot attempts, you look at the production, 24, 25 shot attempts against San Antonio and against Memphis, 50-plus DK points in both those games. In a blowout against Toronto, he still had 42 DK points in 32 minutes. 8,500, I think CJ is priced up enough to where he's not like a standout play today, but man, between CJ or Brandon Ingram, with how well CJ's played and with how poorly Brandon Ingram's played, I don't want to say that Ingram's a bad player or anything, but it doesn't look great for Brandon Ingram right now. Ever since CJ McCollum has kind of been on the team, I mean, the things have gone downhill for Brandon Ingram. He's not been that productive. He's had some really bad games. 3 out of his last 4 have been less than 30 Draftkings points. I still think especially with the price decrease, Brandon Ingram is still viable, but I would probably prefer CJ over him just with how good CJ's played and with how much opportunity CJ's getting right now. Then you got J-Val at 7,400. J-Val just continues to be a low-owned dart throw. I want to say at some point J-Val's going to have a massive game. I've been saying that for the past 3 weeks now, and it still hasn't happened. Probably not on J-Val. I think there's just better plays I'd rather go to, but J-Val is a guy that I do have a lot of interest in most days. J-Val's a guy that's won me a lot of money in the past, but man, right now he's just not playing that well. He's not been that productive. His game log looks really bad. Again, I think at some point J-Val's going to have a big game. When does that happen? I really don't know. But if you want to keep going there in tournaments and hoping that you get him right, hope you play him the night he scores 50 or 60, because it's going to happen at some point. It's just, good luck guessing when it finally does. That's probably it, though, from New Orleans. There's really nothing else I like on this team. Herb Jones, Jackson Hayes, Hernan Gomez, none of these guys really stand out to me. So we can move on to the next game, Philly and Milwaukee. And looking at Philly here, Joel Embiid at 11-8. Again, 5-game slate. We really only had 3 elite studs today: Giannis, Embiid, Luka. I think Embiid is obviously playable. Embiid's coming off a pretty terrible game against Boston last game where they just got the crap beat out of him. Embiid only played 26 minutes, only had 39 Draftkings points. I would expect him to bounce back here. Milwaukee, I don't think it's the best matchup by any means, but this is a big-time game. I think it's on national TV. You would expect Embiid to play well here. His usage has just been phenomenal. He's been leading, or he's towards the top of the league in usage. Just over his last 2 or 3 weeks, he's just been playing so freaking well. He's been stuffing the stat sheet. He's got triple-double upside. He's been scoring a ton, been rebounding a ton, been getting assists. I mean, you can't really say anything negative about Embiid right now. He's just doing everything for the Sixers team. So Embiid is definitely in play for me. For sure, my favorite play from the Sixers. I don't really like too much else from this Philly team. Tobias Harris has been terrible the last 2 games. I want to say at some point Tobias Harris is going to bounce back. He's usually not a guy that I really get excited to roster, especially when Embiid's healthy. Tobias Harris has just been really, really tough to, it's always tough to predict what you're going to get from him when he's playing with Embiid. It seems like he does really well whenever, Embiid's off the floor and he can get more usage. But at 7-1 on a 5-game slate, I think Tobias Harris is for sure in play. Same with Tyrese Maxey. Him and Harris are both going to play big minutes if it's a close game. Again, these are guys I don't really play that often when Embiid's healthy, but I think on a shorter slate like this, they are for sure viable. The value guys, though, from Philly, Matisse Thybulle and Court Maz and Niang, none of these guys really stand out to me. That's really it from the Sixers. So, other side of this game, looking at Milwaukee, we talked about Giannis. I think he is my favorite stud on this slate, just kind of at first look. He's really expensive, but Giannis is just he's one of the safest options in DFS basically on every single slate. The opportunity is going to be there. The minutes are going to be there. The matchup against Philly, I don't think it's bad for him. I mean, Giannis can crush in any matchup. I don't know what, really Philly's going to do defensively. They might try and put Matisse Thybulle on him. They might try and double him. Maybe Embiid guards Giannis. I don't really know. But I think, in this spot at 12K, if we can find some value, we'll have to wait and see what other value opens up as the day goes on. If we do get value on the slate, it's going to depend on what kind of news we get out of Houston, because if Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. are out again like they were Wednesday, there's going to be a lot of value to go to, and that's going to make it easy to get to Giannis. If Giannis is easily accessible on the slate, I will for sure be trying to pay up for him because I think he does have the highest floor on this slate, and I think he probably has the highest ceiling as well. If anyone can go for 75, 80, it's probably going to be Giannis. So I think Giannis is the guy that I definitely like as a pay-up option on both sites. If you want to play him on Yahoo, I definitely like him over there. $56 at the power forward position. He's someone I'll for sure be going to, especially if value opens up and it's easy to get him in. Outside of Giannis, I don't really ever get excited about anyone else on the Bucks. Middleton, Drew, and Portis, they really never stand out to me when Giannis is healthy. These guys are just kind of secondary options. If I had to pick one, I think Drew might be my favorite of the three. We know Drew is going to play big minutes if it's a close game. It's just whenever Giannis is healthy, you never know what you're going to get from Drew. He could put up 45, 50. He could put up 30. It's just, he's been really inconsistent, but still playable on a shorter slate. Same with Middleton, same with Portis. Grayson Allen, I do believe, is doubtful, so with him doubtful, that'll probably open up some more minutes for guys like Wesley Matthews. Wigington has been playing really well. I've never even heard of this guy, but he's been playing well off the bench. Maybe he gets more opportunity. I don't think there's going to be really any value to go to from Milwaukee. Even if Wesley Matthews starts, I don't really have any interest in him. Maybe if they start Wigington, you could go there because he has shown some upside, I guess, as a value. He could maybe be worth targeting. But really, Giannis is the guy that stands out from Milwaukee. The rest of these guys are just not that appealing. Drew and Portis and Middleton are okay, but I think Giannis is for sure my favorite play from this Bucks team. And that's it for that game. We can move on to the last game of the night, the late night hammer. This is one that, there's a lot up in the air right now, especially on the Houston side. So Houston, we saw Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. both get downgraded to questionable on Wednesday's slate, and then both of them actually wound up sitting out. Now, we don't really have any update on their status yet for Thursday's game. I'm guessing that they probably sat out Wednesday just because it was a back-to-back, so they're going to play today. But this will be something to monitor. With Christian Wood and KPJ both out Wednesday, Houston actually did run a 9-man rotation, and you saw a lot of guys do really well at their salaries. Jae'Sean Tate, he crushed. He had 36 DraftKings points in 28 minutes, even in a tough matchup against Phoenix. Jalen Green, he was solid, I guess. 24 DK points in 35 minutes. But the big value guys that really, really did well were Dennis Schroeder and Şengün. So Şengün started at center in place of Wood, played 28 minutes, had almost 50 DraftKings points. We know Şengün is a great point per minute player. Once we got the news that Christian Wood was out, I made Şengün a core play on DraftKings. I thought, especially with the late news, he was just not going to be as owned as he should have. And surely enough, if you late swap to Şengün, Wednesday, it probably was huge for you because he was a smash play. Dennis Schroeder also started in place of Kevin Porter Jr., and he crushed as well. Had 46 DraftKings points, played huge minutes. If Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood are out again, Dennis Schroeder and Şengün are just easy plays for me. I think I would be locking and loading both guys. I think both Şengün and Schroeder would be the best value plays on the slate. But this is just, it's a tough situation to break down right now because we don't really have any update on these guys. If Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. both play, then I think they're viable. Christian Wood in this matchup against the Clippers, I think, does have some upside. If this game does stay close, we will see big minutes for both Wood and KPJ most likely. The Clippers right now, they're just not a team I really get scared of, blowing out anyone. So, honestly, I think this game can stay close. I think Houston will be able to hang with the Clippers. So, I think Wood and KPJ would be viable if they're in. If they're out, then, man, it just becomes value galore. Şengün, Schroeder, for sure, my two favorite value plays, but Tate would be a good value. Eric Gordon at 3,800, I wouldn't mind either. He played well, played big minutes. He took 24 shots. I think Eric Gordon would get a ton of opportunity. I would like him a lot for value. It's just a wait and see right now for Houston. We're going to have to wait and see if Wood and KPJ play. If they don't, then there's going to be a lot of value to go to here. We can talk more about this in the live stream on Thursday. Hopefully we'll have an update on these guys, by the time I stream Thursday, and we can talk more about that then. But this could definitely be the spot to target, a lot of value guys if Wood and KPJ are out again. But on the other side of this game, looking at the Clippers, so the Clippers are a team I kind of like as well. It's a really good spot against Houston. Houston's been playing at a really fast pace this year. They've been bad defensively. I think guys like Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, if this game stays close, which again, I don't think the Clippers are good enough to blow out anyone right now, so I think Houston can hang. I think this game will stay close, and we should get 36 to 40 minutes from Reggie Jackson. He's been playing really big minutes lately. He's been playing well in general, been taking a ton of shots. He's kind of like the lead guy for this team right now with no Kawhi Leonard, with no Paul George, with Norman Powell out as well. Reggie Jackson's just soaking up a ton of usage, taking a ton of shots. He's been playing well. He's been playing big minutes. I definitely think Reggie Jackson is viable even with his price up. I think Marcus Morris looks like a really good option. He's only 6,200 on DraftKings. I like him quite a bit, especially with the discount you get dropping down from Jackson to Morris. No, Yahoo, Morris is really cheap. Small forward, $19. he's for sure someone I'm going to be looking to on both sides. You know, he's been playing big minutes as well. Hasn't shown the massive ceiling that Reggie Jackson has, but we know Marcus Morris is going to get the opportunity. He's going to take shots when he's on the court. You look at the field goal attempts, 16, 18, 13, 17 shot attempts. You know, hasn't been contributing much with peripherals. You know, rebounds and assists haven't really been there, but we know Marcus Morris, you know, can get some rebounds, can get some assists, can sometimes get defensive stats. At 6,200, I think with, you know, with the good matchup against Houston, with the likelihood that he plays 30-plus minutes here in a close game, Marcus Morris is definitely someone I like at 6,200. Him and Reggie Jackson, I think, are both viable. Terrence Mann was a really popular value play last slate and was a big chalk bust. He really disappointed. But he did play big minutes again, and he's been playing big minutes lately. I think Terrence Mann will once again play over 30 minutes, and at 5,100, I have no issue going to Terrence Mann today. Vikas Zubac's been playing really well, and his minutes have been going way up. Last few games, 26, 33, 23, and 31 minutes. I mean, Zubac's always been a really good point-per-minute player, so if he gets 25 to 30 minutes, it's pretty likely that he pays off 4,700, especially in a good matchup against the Rockets. So, like, I think Zubac's a pretty good value play today. He is someone I'll definitely be looking to. Now, this is all going to depend on, you know, the status of Wood and KPJ, because if those guys are out, then all the good value on the slate is going to go to Houston. There's going to be a lot that I love from Houston. Like, for example, if Wood's out, I would definitely play Şengün over Zubac, but I still think Zubac's in play. Nicholas Batum's a guy that I like for value as well, so he's been starting lately in place of Norman Powell. And normally Nicholas Batum is not a guy that I really ever get excited to roster, but he's been playing well. The minutes have been solid. 29 and 25 minutes the last two games, 31 and 36 DraftKings points. I think, you know, as a first look value, I'm fine plugging in Batum for now. Again, it's all going to depend on what kind of value we get as the day goes on. You know, if you guys want my full updated core plays, those are always posted on Patreon every day, an hour before lock. As of now, though, I'm fine plugging in Batum as a first look value because he should continue to start in place of Norman Powell, should continue to play 25 to 30 minutes a night. Still fairly cheap on both sides. He's pretty cheap on Yahoo, so if you do want to go to him there, $13, yeah, I definitely will be looking to Nicholas Batum as a value play. Again, we'll have to wait and see what value we get from Houston. A guy like Eric Gordon, a guy like, you know, Şengün, those guys could wind up being better value plays than someone like Batum. But for now, I'm fine plugging in Batum as a first look value play. And that's probably it from the Clippers. You know, Robert Covington off the bench, I don't hate. He probably plays like 20 to 25 minutes. He's 3,900. Okay value option, but really I think the starters are what I'm looking to from the Clippers today. And in general, this late night game is for sure going to be one worth targeting, especially if we do get a lot of value from Houston if those guys wind up being out again. But that's it, guys. That's it for this 5-game Thursday slate. Again, this is our last slate before the All-Star break, so there are no games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. There are no games until next Thursday. So after this video, I won't have any videos up until next Thursday. But when we do come back from the All-Star break, I'm going to try and make some prospect specific content along with still uploading my videos the night before. I'll get these videos posted the night before, my kind of first look videos at the Draftkings and Yahoo slate. And then for those of you that really are grinding prospects and are playing prospects every day, I think starting next week I will be making some prospects content, shorter form videos, 8 to 10 minutes long, talking through some of my favorite picks on prospects each day. For those of you that are interested, I will try and get that up, starting next week. Hopefully we can start, getting some prospect content up on the channel, making some money on prospects. I've been playing prospects heavily over the last few months. I know a lot of you guys play on prospects every day, and obviously with them being a sponsor of the channel, I want to support prospects as much as I can because they do, greatly support me. Again, if you guys are new and you want to sign up for prospects, you want to go check them out, you can sign up. Use code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And you can take a look at their board for Thursday's slate, make some picks for yourself, potentially win up to 10 extra money. Just make sure when you sign up, use code NOAH so that way you get that deposit bonus when you do sign up. But yeah, guys, best of luck on this slate. We will see you back here next Thursday after the All-Star break or after the All-Star break is over. I will still be live streaming Thursday night, so an hour before lock, 6 p.m. Eastern. I will be live on my YouTube channel. Make sure to tune into the live stream if you need any questions answered, a lot of specific questions, whatever it may be. I can always discuss those in the live stream. We will be live an hour before lock as expected Thursday. But yeah, guys, see you next Thursday. Enjoy the All-Star break. Enjoy some time off. We will be back then. Best of luck, guys. Appreciate you watching. Peace.